Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. The GOP is finally going on the offensive. They're going after the Biden crime family, and more specifically, they're targeting Joe, and most importantly, they're asking all the right questions, sending the White House into clear panic mode. We're gonna keep the intro short because we got a lot of clips to listen to, we got a lot of things to talk about, we got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so let's first start off with Representative Jim Jordan, building off of what Byron Daniels said during the press conference earlier today, or yesterday as you're watching the video. Jim Jordan is asking the exact same questions that I've been asking for the last couple of years. For what?
Suspicious activity reports. The key word in that phrase is the word suspicious. There are 170 of those reports, many of them put together by the Treasury Department of our government in the Obama-Biden administration. So 170 of those that the committee has reviewed, thousands of pages of bank records the committee has reviewed, and that has told us that there are now multiple, as Mr. Donald just said, multiple LLCs receiving money from foreign entities and paying that money out to multiple members of the Biden family. And the fundamental question is the one Byron just raised. For what? What did they do? What was the business? What service did they provide? What value did they add? What did they do to warrant receipt of the money? That is the fundamental question, and no one seems to have an answer to that fundamental question. But Mr. Comer, Chairman Comer, and the team, that's what we're looking into, trying to get. And I would just say this, too. Why not just come clean? Why not just be honest with us? Why not tell us the truth? But I would tell you this. I think it's a pattern with this administration. They haven't been square with us, straight with the American people about anything. They tell us the border is secure. We know it isn't. They tell us our debt ceiling bill is going to hurt veterans. No, it doesn't. Joe Biden said during the campaign that the letter from 51 former intel officials, when he used it in the debate, he portrayed it as if it was organic. And we now know through another investigation that we're all working on that, in fact, it was coordinated. That letter from 51 former intel officials was coordinated with the Biden campaign. So much so, the Biden campaign told Mike Morrell, here's the journalist we want you to have the story to, the letter to first. Why not just be straight with us? Why not come clean? Why not tell us the truth? Tell the American people the truth. They deserve that from their government. Again, the fundamental question is, what did they do to warrant the receipt of millions and millions of dollars? Why did Joe Biden's brother? Why did Joe Biden's sister-in-law? Why did Joe Biden's son? Why did so many family members get the money? What did they do to warrant receipt of that money? That's the fundamental question. Chairman Comer and the team have done great work, and they're determined to get answers to those fundamental questions.
Literally word for word exactly my thoughts. What exactly are the Bidens doing? What are they providing? As far as I understand, as far as I know, the Bidens don't do anything. Yet they're receiving millions upon millions of dollars from foreign millionaires and billionaires that they seem to be putting in a lot of effort to conceal. Here's some details. They've set up this whole complex structure to essentially funnel money, I'd argue to launder money, in the attempt to not raise suspicions, and of course, to not be held to account, to hide it from the public. The Oversight Committee goes into some detail. We have now established a network of over 20 companies formed by the Bidens and their associates. Most of these companies were LLCs and formed when Joe Biden was vice president. Based on the financial records we have obtained via bank subpoenas, we can now confidently trace at least $10 million in total from foreign nationals and their related companies going to the Biden family, their business associates, and their companies. What services did the Bidens provide in exchange for this money? It is unclear what they provided other than access and influence. Joe Biden told the American people on October 22nd, 2020 that Hunter Biden never made any money from China. That is a lie based on the banking records. The Bidens took steps to hide, confuse, and conceal payments that they received from foreign nationals. Here's one example how a CCP-linked associate layered domestic limited liability companies to pay Hunter Biden. Step number 1, CEFC Infrastructure Dongwen Dong creates CEFC Infrastructure with Hudson West V as the sole member. Hudson West V Gongwang Dong removes Hudson West V as the sole member and adds Huaxin Group as the sole member. Huaxin Group then sends CEFC Infrastructure $10 million million, then the CEFC infrastructure makes direct payment of $100,000 to Owaska PC. Multiple Biden family members received money from the Chinese after it passed through an associate's account. Additionally, Hunter Biden received money directly into his company's account from a Chinese-controlled entity. You can see the structure here on the graphic provided by the Oversight Committee. In addition to the China money ties, we are adding a new country to our growing list of places the Bidens received money from: Romania. The Biden family and associates' activities in Romania reveal an influence peddling scheme from 2015 to 2017. You know, what kind of family gets to take in $10 million through these suspicious bank transfers, which, as Jim Jordan said in the earlier clip, over 170 of which were marked as suspicious activity? Who gets to take in all of that dough, all of that money, without even an explanation? When you send a wire transfer, you're supposed to list a reason. Every transaction is supposed to have a receipt, a reason. On both ends, it's supposed to be declared. Entity X is paying Entity Y for a container of widgets, legal services, yada yada yada. You're supposed to have a paper trail, some sort of proof of services rendered, a contract, whatever it is. The Bidens, however, seem to have no explanation for anything, and they've been working overtime to conceal as much as possible. The most transparent White House in American history, once again, being the least transparent, as they've been fighting behind the scenes throughout this entire process, continuous efforts to conceal these transactions from the public and from James Comer and Jim Jordan's investigation. What happened to the Democrats' standard of it being essentially an admission of guilt? What happened to that standard? Well, of course, as we know, it only applies to one side. Obviously. You don't just get to serve in government, accept over $10 million in your bank accounts, create this whole complex, shady money funneling scheme without explanation. The Bidens must be held to account, and more specifically, Joe Biden must be held to account. If the FBI or the DOJ won't do their job, then the House GOP's got to do it for them. It is time to impeach Piss Pants Biden, and I know the response that I keep getting when I say this is that no, of course not, Joe Biden can't be impeached because then we're stuck with Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris would be a lame duck. The GOP controls the House. She wouldn't be able to do anything. Not to mention she's unelectable. It would pretty much guarantee a 2024 Republican victory. But honestly, Joe Biden needs to be impeached, not to remove him from office, because clearly these despicable Democrats in the Senate would never actually side with Republicans to impeach Joe. I mean, they might, but chances are they probably won't. Republicans need to impeach Joe for the same reason Democrats did it to Trump: to create a frickin' circus. A public investigation, hearings, presentation of evidence. Make it frickin' prime time. The American people need to be made aware of the Biden family corruption and just how deep it goes. It's not enough to do a little press conference or to release a little tweet. It's time to do the same thing that the Democrats do and make a frickin' spectacle out of it. Play the damn game. The Bidens sold access to the federal government. There's mounting evidence, whistleblower accounts. The damn former White House stenographer is literally accusing Joe Biden of exactly that. I don't know how many times I have to repeat myself. It's time to make a big deal, because it's a pretty big deal. I mean, at the bare minimum, Joe Biden should be impeached. Frankly, he belongs in prison. Enough talk, wrap it up, get to the action portion. That's pretty much how I feel about it. That's what I got for you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Of course, you know that we'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.